Hello, welcome to welcome to Travel Shots Live, where I bring you unedited footage of all the places I travel, including all of my crazy bloopers. I was about to say welcome to Budapest Live, which is where I'm at. But believe it or not, this is my last day in Budapest, Hungary. I can't believe it, man. Like 30 days have just gone by just like that. And it's time for the end of month review. Yay! Don't we love it? This is where I get to tell you how it went, because this is my first time in Budapest. I get to tell, let me adjust this craziness. I get to tell you how much my cost of living was here for the last 30 days. All right, all right, all right. So anyway, if you see me doing a lot of looking over here, again, cheat notes. So, yeah, let's start with, of course, we're going to start with rent. We're going to start with then food and then transportation, and communication with a SIM card. And then I'll go into other little details about what I thought about the place, the people. And then we'll wrap it up, and that'll be bon voyage. As of tomorrow, I'll be going to a new place. Okay? There we go. So anyway, what did it cost to stay here? I'll tell you when I first got here. I got here on August 21st, and I stayed through, well, tomorrow, September 18. I'll stay through that date. And it's through an Airbnb, and, you know, this may be the end of the actual travel season going into the fall, but this place was a little pricey for my budget, but I paid $1,170 a month, or $1,170 for the month. If you break it down, or as you say 28 days, because you can only rent for 28 days on Airbnb and you get that sweet spot discount. So when I say a month, I mean 28 days, just so you guys know. But it comes out to $42 a night to stay here. And this isn't like having your apartment all to yourself. This is actually a loft that was turned into an apartment, and I'm living in somebody's home, basically on the top floor, which hasn't been so bad. But, you know, again, it's not your own place, and you hear the dogs barking, and there's an apartment right next door to me. You hear people coming and going. You know, I've been here the whole month, and I think I've had about 5 or 6 different people living next door to me coming and going. So it's been like a revolving door out here. But I mean, it is the cheapest that I saw on Airbnb, where I had, you know, my own space and didn't have to like go to a hostel or anything like that. So, but for me, like I said, it was a little pricey. But still cheaper than paying rent in the United States. Because if I was back home in Florida, my rent actually was $1,300 a month, but I had a 2-bedroom. But this is $1,170. But remember this, $1,170 covers all your utilities. So my electric and my water is included in the cost of the rent on top of the Wi-Fi. Okay? So anyway, keep that in mind. Whereas back home, of course, you have to pay your utilities separate. So it definitely would have cost me more. All right. So the next thing, what about the food? Everybody loves food, right? Eating out. Well, it depends. It's a little pricey out here. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it's been pretty pricey. If you want to go to a decent place, like today I went to a coffee shop / sandwich cafe. I got me a sandwich that was made with salmon and cheese, some kind of sauce. It was pretty good. It came with a side of coleslaw, and then I got an iced coffee, and all of that cost me $10. And that's sort of on the low end. Now, I have been to other restaurants where I paid up to about $25 to $40 for something to eat. So it's all depending on where you go, but I'd say the low end with a drink is $10. So it's not super, super cheap. I'm just saying it's not super, super cheap. You know what I mean? This is not super, super cheap to be out here. Now, street food, you can do better with street food, like, what do they call it? Langouche. It's a big thing. It's like a fried pizza, basically. They just take a big round thing of dough and they fry it up, deep fry it, and then they put the cheese and whatever toppings you want on it, and they call it langouche. That's about $5, and I had a couple of those this month. So yeah, you can get away with something like that. It'll fill you up. Coffee, it can be anywhere from, depending on what you get, it could be anywhere from $2 to $3 for a cup of coffee. And groceries, now since I have my own place with a kitchen, I like to cook. I don't go out to eat 3 times a day, 7 days a week, so it just costs me way too much money. So I've been, utilizing the local grocery store, or I've been going up to, every Saturday they had a fresh market where I could buy produce and everything. They had dried meats, which was really good, fresh bread, fresh cheeses. It was everything. And I would pay on average for the week $40. So about $40 a week on groceries, okay? Not bad. That's really not bad when you think about it. Now, transportation. Well, I've only used a taxi one time, and that was to actually get here. And then I'm going to need a taxi to get out. And they have a taxi service. They have 2 of them, actually. One's called Bolt. Sorry, I got to get comfortable. One's called Bolt, B-O-L-T, and the other one's called Uber. And I only use the Bolt one, and I'm going to use Bolt on the way out of here to get to the bus station. But for a 20-minute ride, it's $20. So figure $1 a minute wherever you're going in the city. It's a little on the pricey side. I mean, other than that, I bought it's called a Budapest Go app. I downloaded the app and I bought a monthly pass, which actually just ran out today, and I didn't even know it. I was going to go take the tram today into the city, and it was working in the morning on my phone. And then when I got up to the tram station, it says, your pass is expired. And I was like, damn. I just wanted to get on the tram one more time before I left, and I couldn't do it. I mean, maybe I could have done it and got away with it, but I didn't want to get caught, because if you get caught without your pass, they hit you with a big, huge fine, and you have to pay it on the spot in cash. And I imagine if you don't have the cash, you're going downtown to the police station. You know what I mean? You go into the po station, and I wasn't about to get into all that on my last day. So I didn't ride the tram today, and I didn't want to buy a daily ticket for $7 just for a couple rides. It didn't seem logical, so I didn't do it. But anyway, long story short, if you buy it for the month, it's $25. It's unlimited rides on any form of transportation except their e-scooters and their bicycles. Those are separate. And if you want to get a ride, like on a bus or tram to the actual airport, then that is a separate ticket. So it doesn't cover that, but it will get you anywhere you want to go. Like I said, you can ride, and they've got a lot of transportation here. You can ride a bus, a tram, a trolley, or a subway. All I can say is all of it's awesome. I'm usually not a big bus person, but the buses were not bad. But I really prefer the trams and, on the subway, I mean, hands down, it's so super fast. You can get from like a 30-minute drive that would normally take you, you can get on the subway and literally get there in 6 minutes flat. Like, it's super fast. I love it. I love it. So anyway, now, this is not really under transportation, but I'm going to put it under communication, which is the SIM card. Now, normally I would buy a cheap SIM card, like you can get one for about, I'd say anywhere from $8 to $15, depending on how much data you need. Or you can get one for 500 gigs for $35 for the month. I got that. I know you're probably thinking, why the hell did she buy 500 gigabytes, right? Well, let me tell you, this lady's Wi-Fi only seems to work on my cell phone, but it was not working on my laptop. I could not upload anything on my laptop. I couldn't do any work on my laptop without burning a personal hotspot off my cell phone, which is what I'm doing now, which is what I've been doing. So that's why I went ahead and bought the biggest package they had. I was trying to get unlimited, but they said that's pretty much all we have. But I said, well, that's not bad for $35. I went up to the store today and I asked them, I says, how much do I have left? Because I was just curious how much I burned. Because I've been pretty much using my personal hotspot in this apartment day and night, right? Plus out on the road with my cell phone. And I only used half of it. I used 250 gigabytes for the month. I still have half of it left. And I was asking him, I says, can I carry that? Like, can I use that in my next destination? I told him I'm still in Europe. I'm going to another country. Does it carry over? And they were like, well, actually only 26 gigabytes will be available. Oops, hold on. Battery getting low. 26 gigabytes will be available, they said, and that's it. And the rest of it I have to forfeit. And I was like, damn, because I really wanted to use the rest of it up. So I sort of wasted my money. But now if I ever run into that situation again, I know that I can get by on 250 gigabytes and burn it day and night using my computer and my cell phone. But normally you wouldn't have to pay $35. So just saying, it's still not bad. It's a good deal. But if I had a decent Wi-Fi in here, then yeah, I wouldn't have had to buy that. So just letting you guys know. Alrighty, so what's it like communicating with the people? Half speak English, or I'd say maybe a good 3/4 of the people speak English and 1/4 of them don't. And the further you get away from town, the big city, the less people actually know English where they can communicate. So just keep that in mind if you're like me, a Westerner, and you don't know anything but English. You either got to have your Google Translate when you get out in the outskirts, or when you get into Budapest itself. 9 times out of 10, cafes, restaurants, they will know some English where you'll be able to get by on it, so you don't have to worry, okay? You don't have to worry. Now the city, going into like, what is it like? Well, it's very walkable, okay? There's lots and lots and lots and lots of cafes, restaurants, museums, churches, you name it, you're gonna find it. Not to mention a good balance between green space and concrete. Even though it's a big city, it's like a 50-50 balance of greenery and sidewalk. And it's just so beautiful. Like, the trees are just all hanging into the streets. And if you're really hot in the sun, there's always a bench somewhere where you can pull off under a tree and just cool yourself down. So not only is it very walkable, which I have mostly used my feet other than a tram or a subway. Other than that, it's pretty much walkable. Like I said, it's pretty cool. I like it. Now, when you get out into the country, of course, you've got good hiking trails, you've got the good city views, and, you know, the only thing they don't have, unless you specifically go, like if you saw a couple of my videos, one had a little pond. You can go to the river itself, but you can't really I mean, if you want to hop on a boat, I didn't do a sunset cruise. It's expensive. It's about $15 for 2 hours. I didn't do that. But you can get on a boat and cruise down the river if that's your thing. So if that's what you want to do, you can do that. But I didn't do it. As far as the weather was concerned, the first 3 weeks were sort of hot. I mean, believe it or not, August into September, it was hitting 95 degrees. It was pretty hot and sweaty. But this last week, we had mega rain. Like, it's been raining the last 4 days. I've been stuck in my apartment. It's just been pouring rain day and night, and it's been freezing cold. Like, I literally had to turn on the heater in here. I was so cold. It got down to like 48 degrees during the day, and then it was dipping into the 30s at night. I was like, what? Like it was just 95 2 days prior, and then it dips down to that. I was just like, my mind was blown. But anyway, it's warmed up now. Today I was able to get out in the sun a little bit. It's 70 degrees, so not bad. Okay, so I mean, that pretty much covers it all. As far as what I did, now here's the downfall of Budapest. As much as I love the city, I ain't gonna lie, I do give this place 2 thumbs up. I love, 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 love Budapest's transportation. It's super easy, and in my opinion, very cheap with that pass. You can get around everywhere. You can even get out of town into the woods and go hiking on their transportation. So 2 thumbs up on their transportation. Their food is, I mean, you're in Central Europe, let's face it. Things are pricey out here. This is not the Balkans. This is not Southeast Asia. Like, it's borderline pricey to me. And as far as like the attractions, yes, you can go to like the Castle District. You can go to like the Parliament or the museums, and you can walk around. You can walk on the premise and admire the architecture from the outside for free. And actually, you can go to the parks and the hiking trails for free, which is cool. And I'm all about free because I'm on a budget. But if you want to go inside to a church or a museum, I mean, they all cost money, okay? And I'm going to tell you what, you can blow some cash out here if you're not careful, all right? I was careful. The only 2 things I splurged on is I went to the Flipper Museum, which if you saw one of my videos is the pinball machine museum, and it was $15, all you can play as long as you want to stay. And I got there at 4 p.m. And stayed till, I don't know, I was tired. I think I stayed till about 10 that night. Yeah, something like that. And then I went home. But I paid $15 to do that, for something to do. And the only other thing I splurged on was I took the funicular, which is like a trolley that goes up the mountain and takes you up to the top of the mountain, so you don't have to actually physically hike up the mountain. I did that one time to get up to Buda Castle, and that cost me $15 round trip, which I thought was a little bit pricey because, I mean, it was only a 5-minute ride up and a 5-minute ride down. But I was like, you know what, whatever, it's cute. It's cute, it's a nice view, it saves my legs, right? So those are the only 2 extra things I spent some money on. I did not go and spend money on churches. I didn't do any museums this time. I didn't go on any tours. I mean, yeah, it sounds a little bit boring, but you know, I'm not a tourist, and this is what I try to remind you guys, because sometimes I get messages that say, hey, go check this out, go check that out. But you got to remember, it's not like I'm just here for 2 weeks and I'm trying to like blow all my cash in 2 weeks. No, I'm actually here months, 1 month at a time, and at each location where I am pretty much living like a local, okay? So just think about you and where you live. Do you constantly go to museums all the time? Do you constantly go on tours all the time? I mean, you live there, right? So you might do something special on the weekend, but you're not going to be blowing money every single day. Well, that's exactly the way I look at it, and that's the way I live. As if this is my hometown, like it is in the States. If I don't have to spend the money, I don't spend the money. Like for me, I'd rather put the money into a better place to stay for the month and some decent food in my belly, like really good organic food and some good meat and some cheese and stuff like that. I mean, that's what I want to put in my belly. I'd rather put the money there than splurging on all kinds of attractions. Once in a while I'll do it, but if it's not within the budget, it's not happening. So, but yeah, so what's the grand total? What did I spend? Well, when you add it all up, my monthly budget is roughly $1,500 or less per month. I prefer less, obviously. I came in a tad bit over, and the only reason was because I had to get the higher amount on the cell phone. Otherwise, I could have saved 20 bucks, but I came in at $1,505. I was only $5 over my budget. That's not bad for me. And, you know, like I said, I didn't do super splurge. I, you know, maybe ate out twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. And when I did go out to eat, like if I did a big splurge at a fancy restaurant one day, well, the next day I'm eating langouche for $5, right? If I'm spending 40 on this day, I'm spending $5 on that day. So like I balance my stuff out, right? So anyway, this is it. Bon voyage to Budapest. Now, I have dropped some clues about where I'm going next. Some of you have responded. I've gotten some responses. I'm not going to say whether you are right or wrong, but thank you. But again, those who didn't catch the clues, I will drop the clues. Tomorrow, I'm leaving in the morning. I'm taking a 7-hour bus ride north, okay? And I'm going to another major European city, and I'll be there for another 30 days. So that's the clues. If you think you know where I'm going, drop them in the comments. Don't forget to do a thumbs up, thumbs down if you enjoyed this video. Don't also forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And all of this, of course, is up to you. And it's much appreciated if you do say yes to the thumbs up and yes to subscribing. And you know I love you to all the ones. You guys got my heart that have already subscribed. And, you know, if you have any questions about travel, drop me a comment. I'll write you back. And don't forget to share this information with the world. All right, guys. I don't know where I'm going to be. You don't know where I'm going to be, but you better stay tuned. I may be able to drop a video tomorrow. Depends on the travel, but if you don't see one, that means I'm tired and wiped out, and I'll get with you the next day, okay? All right, guys. Peace out. Love you.